Yo, what's up, Gator? We are back again, and it's been a while since my last upload. So, by the way, guys, we're going to have our weekly trade recap again. So this was last week's trade from February 12th to February 16th on Euro USD. So let's start and look at this February 12th. That's Monday. You can see here this Asia session, London, and then New York. So during London, we did not have a trade since you can see here that after Asia high has been taken here, the price goes down, and then we have here this market structure shift at this area. So I'm expecting that on this breaker block, the price will retest, and then we could look for a sell entry at this zone. But unfortunately, the price did not go back to this zone. So we can see here that we have a trade on New York session. This one is New York session. After a sweep in previous day low, we have taken this equal high as our target. That's exact 1:3 risk reward ratio. So let's go down to 1 minute time frame to look for this setup. So looking at this setup here, this previous day low, let's change the color. This previous day low has been taken, and then we have here this SMT divergence with GBP USD. So market structure shift, and we can see here that we have this displacement around this green line. And these three green candles that created this bullish fair value gap. So our entry at this fair value gap, and then targeted these equal highs. So that's our first trade on the week of the week on New York session or New York kill zone. So let's go on the next day. Okay guys, so we are now on the second day of the week. That's February 16th. So as you can see here, we have here this Asia, London, and then this New York. We have our CPI news. CPI, this long candle. This is the CPI news candle. So first we mark our zone, this buy side liquidity. Then we have here this market structure happen at 15 minutes. Because we have here this low, then a high, then we have a break in this low. And then another break of structure. So we mark our Asia high and then our Asia low so that we are ready to take our trade on London. So since we have here this market structure shift, so we are looking for a pullback. So we mark this premium fair value gap. That's 15 minutes fair value gap. So now let's go down to 1 minute time frame to look for our setup during London session. So here we are. Here we are, guys. So this is the trade I took during London session. So Asia high has been taken. Then we have a tap in this fair value gap, market structure shift, and then this bearish breaker block to enter that this bearish breaker block, and then stop loss just around this area above this swing high, and then target always a 1:3. So here it is. So that's our second trade on our week, second trade of the week. So we'll go now to the next day, since I haven't trade or did not trade on New York since we have a CPI news, and I'm not risking since we are taking a challenge on FundedNext. Okay, let's go now to the third day. That's February 15. I mean 14, Wednesday, February 14. So we are now on the third day of the week, February 14. So as we can see here, guys, we have again a market structure shift. So we mark this bearish, what do you call this? Bearish order block or supply. So mark our Asia high, this Asia low, and then this previous day low. So as you can see here that we have a trade in London. We, mm, we can- we have a trade in London session here. Then we took also a trade in this New York session, but we have failed this New York session. So let's break down our trade during this London session. Here we go, guys. So this was my entry at this London session, our first trade. So we can see here at this 1 minute, we have here this market structure shift. And then since we don't have any clear or FVG, so I use again this Fibonacci tool to enter at this optimal trade entry, the 6.018. So actually this trade, I've sent this at our Telegram group. Then target is sell side liquidity. Actually, um, we have already have this 1:3. That's almost hitting this sell side liquidity. So that was my first trade of the day. 1:3 secured. We have a fast movement of the market. So now let's go again to 5 minutes time frame, since we have here this 5 minutes breaker block. And once again, that's for the second trade. Let's see. Here you go, guys. So on the 5 minutes time frame, we have also a market structure shift. And then this 5 minutes breaker block. I mean this one. This is the 5 minutes. Ah yes, this one. 5 minutes breaker block. Doesn't mean that it must be a black candle or a bearish candle. 5 minutes breaker block. Because if you can see here, this is demand because it has a sweep here. This liquidity is here on the lower time frame. So put my entry here and target this Asia low, just securing 1:3 risk reward ratio. Okay, so let's go now to New York session for our next trade. Here you go, guys. You have seen here a 5 minute fair value gap, and then we entered at this 5 minute fair value gap. We did not have any, any confirmation at the 1 minute. I just place my limit order at this 5 minutes fair value gap and hitting this first sell side liquidity. Actually, this was my final TP, but unfortunately, we have been stopped at this break even. Okay, so let's go now to our next day trade. That's Thursday, October 5th. I mean, February 15. I was excited. So let's go now to February 15, the next day. Okay, guys, so we are now on the fourth day of the week. This is again February 15. That's Thursday. So this was the day we have took many losses. You have here how many losses? One, and then a break even. Then on New York we have these two losses here. One, two. So in total we have four losses on this day. I mean three, and just one break even. So as you can see, guys, during Asia session we have entered a trade, then London session, and then New York session. So let's break down all these trades we've taken last Thursday. So let's start with the Asia session here. Let's go down to a 1 minute time frame. No. So as you can see here first, during Asia session, we have taken previous day high. So we have a high probability that we could took a trade. We have here this market structure shift here. And then this 15 minutes bearish breaker block. So let's go down to 1 minute time frame to look for this trade. So this was the setup on what do you call this Asia session. So we can see here this was swept previous day high, market structure shift, and then this is the 15 minutes breaker block. So once the price stop, market structure shift, I've waited this market structure shift, and you can see we have here this SMT again for the higher high and then the higher low created with GBP USD. Then we have here this balance price range, and then this liquidities form. So I entered that this BPR, just targeted this swing low. That's only 1:2. So I advise that if you want to trade Asia session, I just targeting 1:2 risk reward, since Asia session is a slow moving session. So 1:2 is good. Okay, so this was my setup. Enter that this balance price range or this FBG, then target this swing low. That's 1:2 risk reward ratio. Okay, let's go now to London session for our trade. Where is that London? This one. So here, mark our bearish supply or order block. So we have a top in this supply. Then market structure shift. I just entered our trade in this balance price range again. And unfortunately, we got stopped out. Here. Okay. So second trade on London. Again, swept Asia high. Then a market structure shift. This bearish breaker block. Then entered we can see here this build up liquidity or this trend line liquidity. This one, those are buy side liquidities, and we can see we have here this entered at this bearish breaker block and target this sell side liquidity. That's 1:3 risk reward ratio. Okay, so we have one win in New York, I mean Asia, and then second win in London. So let's go now to New York session. So here we go, guys. So this was my first trade. So with with your knowledge, or I just entered at this is because I was looking forward to the price might hit this zones here. We have here this breaker block, 15 minutes breaker block, and then we have also here above a 15-minute supply here. So with the help of technical analysis and fundamental analysis, I entered long at this area. Just target this small risk reward ratio. So the price rejected at this 15 minutes, and then we can see here this market structure shift, breaker block, and then I just entered at this breaker block, and unfortunately we get stop out again. And then the next trade, this fair value gap, since we have here this market structure shift, so I was eager to enter to sell at this area, knowing that we have a supply waiting above. That's a mistake. Don't follow or don't be like me at this point. So last trade here, entered at this fair value gap after this market structure shift, because we have a sweep here, entered at this 15 minutes bearish order block or supply, then hit our first TP and then our second TP. Okay, so that's the trade I took on Thursday, I mean. So let's go now to the last day of the week. That's Friday. And by the way, you might wonder that this trade was taken outside New York Hill Zone. Actually, 11 to 12 still an extension of this New York Hill Zone. So that's why I risk my trade to cover up these two losses. Okay, so let's go now to the last day of the week. So this was the last day of the week. It's Friday. So did not have a trade on London since we don't have any good, or I mean I did not see any setup at this point. So we have a top here on this 15 minutes breaker block. But I said that I will not took the trade, or I will not look for a setup since the kill zone is about to end at this point here. You can see here. So I just took a trade on this New York session after PPI news was released. So we have taken this sell side liquidity. We have a rejection. Then I was bullish since previous day high was not taken during London. Okay, so let's go down to 1 minute so that you can see my setup for this trade. So here you go, guys. So we have a sweep in this sell side liquidity, another sweep, and then a market structure happened. And we have here this fair value gap. So entered at this fair value gap. There you go. And then my first TP was high, this high. So that's exactly 1:3 risk reward ratio. And then my final TP was the previous day high above. Okay, so feel free to ask questions at the comment section so that I will like to try my best to answer your questions. So that's all for today, guys. And with all these trades, we managed to pass a funded next challenge. And now on the next week, we are going to trade a live account. So wish me luck on our funded account again. So hope you enjoyed or hope you've learned something from our video for today. And hope to see you again on our next weekly trade recap. That's all for today. And have a nice weekend, guys.